Well, an NCAA Division I conference has named a transgender runner as Athlete of the Week in a women's sport. The Big Sky Conference selected University of Montana cross-country runner June Eastwood for the award in a recent meet. Eastwood is a biological male who identifies as a transgender woman. Eastwood placed second in a field of 204 runners at the Santa Clara Bronco Invitational, helping Montana's women's team finish 7th out of 26. Eastwood previously ran for the men's teams as Jonathan Eastwood. While scientific debate continues about competitive advantages for male-born athletes over females, the NCAA allows such participation. The conference's policy says males can compete in women's athletics after suppressing testosterone levels for a full calendar year. But we definitely want to bring back in our A-plus panel to weigh in. Allison Young, Republican strategist, also Garland Nixon, radio talk show host, and my friend George Falkowski, our all things sports maestro. So Allison, let's start with you. Is it somewhat of an unfair disadvantage for women, for those who are born biologically as women in a situation like this?
Well, look, the NCAA policy on this is clear, so I don't think my opinion here matters. Transgendered athletes can compete against cisgendered females in these sports, so NCAA policy is clear, and so have it.
I'm going to make some people unhappy. I think it's absurd. I absolutely oppose it. I think it's ridiculous. It doesn't take into account the reality that men are just born bigger than women. Now, there are some species where the female is bigger than the male creature. This ain't one of them. I think it's absurd.
George, what's your take on all this? We've seen this time and time again. How do you address it? What's the solution?
I think the solution to this, if the NCAA is going to mandate that transgender athletes have to be allowed to compete, there should be a third category. Men's sports, women's sports, and then transgenders can compete against each other if there are enough to do it. Maybe just at a meet, there's 2 or 3, they compete against each other. But maybe this third category is the way to go, where transgenders compete against transgenders, and that way there's no controversy.
Look, Nate, the issue here is that the medical community is divided on whether or not there are differences after, like as the NCAA says, after men have been off testosterone for a year and are transitioning. So the medical community is divided on this. I think it's okay that we're divided on this. It's an emerging area of research, and we're going to figure it out. It's probably not perfect right now.
Well, the medical community may be divided, but if you're playing sports and some 6'6", 260-pound guy hits a girl with an elbow, she's not going to be divided on it. She's going to have to deal with that elbow.
Last question, George. Does this help or hurt the NCAA?
I think it's a very, very difficult spot to put athletes in. Title IX was put in place so they would have fair access to facilities, funding, and opportunity. And now it's being taken away by individuals who say, I'm going to identify as a woman, I'm physically stronger than you, and I'm going to beat you in the race, I'm going to beat you on the court, I'm going to beat you whatever. So something's got to be done, and again, my solution is really a third category for transgender athletes when it comes to big competitions.
All right. Well, let's leave it there. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, George.